Yo, what is going on? This is the spoiler-free review for Star Wars The Force Awakens. I have been waiting pretty much all year to say those words, and I finally get to review this fucking movie. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the setting. I'm currently at work. I had to show up at work a little earlier so I can film this review. And I saw the movie, got out a little late last night, had to be here really early. So I was like, fuck it, dude, I'll just show up to work a little early and shoot the review right there. Because that's how awesome I am. Once again, this is a spoiler-free review, so I will refrain from putting some key details about this story. Alright, so Star Wars The Force Awakens is directed by J.J. Abrams, and it's the first Star Wars movie distributed by Disney. It's also the first Star Wars movie without George Lucas. And in case you didn't know, this movie takes place like 30 years after Return of the Jedi, so yeah, I mean... Alright, let's talk about J.J. Abrams' directing. I really loved what he did right here. The long shots, the use of practical effects over CG. Even though there is some CG, of course there's going to be some CG, but I really love how most of the time, almost every creature that you saw was a puppet or a mechanical robot, or it's all practical effects at its finest, and it looks beautiful. Let's talk about the performances from the younger, new cast. Finn, who played by John Boyega, I thought he did an amazing job. That guy's got a great career ahead of him. As is Daisy Ridley. Her portrayal of Rey was so great. I saw a lot of Luke Skywalker. I thought she did a phenomenal job. Now, Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac, was my personal favorite character. I really love the guy. He was so funny. He's a great guy. Like, his character, he's so likable. I enjoyed the hell out of Poe Dameron. I thought he was a great character. There's a lot of Han Solo in that character. He's really funny. He's really charming. I thought he was really cool. He's the kind of guy that you want to take out to a galactic bar and have a couple of beers with. He just seemed really that cool. Now, aside from the younger cast, there is the return of some major characters from the original trilogy that we all grew up and loved watching, like Han Solo, Chewbacca, Leia, Luke Skywalker. Does Luke Skywalker come out in this movie? That is for you to find out. I really love what they did. They brought back the old school characters like Chewbacca, and I love Han Solo, Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is really old. No disrespect. Great though. I really love Han Solo in this movie. Carrie Fisher as Leia, General Leia, by the way. Yeah. There's some other characters too, like R2-D2 and C-3PO. They're all back. And Admiral Akbar. What? Some of the new characters that I really enjoyed the hell out of was Kylo Ren. This character is so layered, so multi-dimensional.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
But I think Kylo Ren just brought something new to the plate, and I really enjoyed what Kylo Ren did. He was so menacing, he was scared, he was emotionally. You can see that this guy was tortured, and I love this character. I really, really, really love Kylo Ren. Props to you, Adam Driver. Great job. The action scenes, the special effects, all was really on point. It was solid. It was great adventure film. What I really loved about this movie is that it stood on its own. It may not be better than the original trilogy. It's certainly a whole lot better than the prequels, but this movie stood its ground. It did its own thing, and pretty much the old trilogy, the characters from the old trilogy, has passed down the torch to these new characters and a whole new trilogy. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I mean, this movie kicks ass. It was awesome. I'm gonna see this movie again. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I sure hope you do as well. This movie did have some flaws. Yes, it did. I'm not gonna lie. I'm as much of a fan as I am of these movies, I cannot hide the fact that this movie is not perfect. This movie had some flaws. So let's talk about these flaws. The story, I felt like it was really overcrowded. I felt like the story, there was a lot going on, okay? There was a lot of characters, and you had to keep track of what's going on. All the new and all the old, they were just throwing a lot at you, so you're never really bored, but it is a lot to take in. That could be a good thing, and that could be a bad thing. It's pretty jammed up. But the reason why is because I felt like the writers and the director had to bring you up to speed in the last 30 years of what's been going on in the Star Wars saga, and that's completely understandable. Yeah, sure. There's also some CG characters. I was like, you really couldn't use like a puppet or anything? It has to be like full-on CG, because it kind of reminded me of the prequels a little bit, because it was like heavy CG. The whole entire character from head to toe was CG, and I was like, really? You couldn't use like you could have blown my mind if you used like a puppet or something, you know? That would have been really cool. This movie is funny. It has a lot of humor in it. I'm not saying this movie's a comedy, but one thing that I really didn't like is that, did every character really needed to be funny? Like, everybody, even stormtroopers were funny. I know it's Disney, I know it's like, I mean, come on, but we probably like that. I don't think everybody needs to be funny. I appreciate the humor, it's great, that's cool, but not every single character needed to be funny, I guess. All in all, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. I had a great time with it. It's probably one of the best cinematic experiences you can have this year. I've only seen the movie once, so I'm gonna give it a rating because I literally just saw this movie a few hours ago. So for Star Wars The Force Awakens, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 skulls. If you have an emotional connection to this series, to these movies like I do, then you're gonna have an emotional connection with this movie. This movie made me feel like I was watching the original trilogy again. The magic is back, and what I loved about it is that Star Wars is back. I really enjoyed it. This was the Star Wars movie that we have been waiting for pretty much 30 years. Yes, we can all breathe. Star Wars The Force Awakens is indeed, in fact, better than the prequels. Yes, that is a fact. It is better than episodes 1, 2, and 3 put together, okay? No, I would still say Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and then The Force Awakens. But what I really loved about The Force Awakens is because what Creed did is that they brought in old characters from the previous Rocky movies, and they pretty much handed it down to Michael B. Jordan to do his own thing with it, and that's exactly what you saw in The Force Awakens. You see old characters come in, and they're giving the franchise, they're giving this series to these new characters, which we'll be seeing a lot more in the next Star Wars films. So that's really exciting. That's what I really enjoyed about this movie. Episode 8, we're going to see a lot more Finn, Rey, and Poe, and Kylo. We're going to be seeing less of the old characters and more of the new characters, and I'm absolutely fine with that because I really loved these new characters. These new characters were great, especially Poe. Poe Dameron, you are the homie. You are great. I love you, dude. Alright, so Star Wars The Force Awakens, have you seen it? I want to know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, and follow our blog at axialskeleton.wordpress.com. Be on the lookout for a spoiler review later on this weekend, and also on the podcast we will be talking about this movie. We will be putting some spoilers ahead, so be warned. And let me know what you guys think about The Force Awakens, because it is like the most anticipated movie of the year, and I thought it was good. I wanted, it was not the best freaking movie I've seen in my life, but I want to know what you guys think. Alright, let me know. Alright, so until then, stay focused, stay sharp, and may the Force be with you, and Axial on.